Hey, it's Monica, the hiking chick, and today I'm going to be talking about my PCT fears. Okay, so let's get into this. When I first decided I wanted to hike to PCT, I made a bunch of lists because I'm a list maker. And one of them was, what are my fears? And then aside each of those fears, I kind of made some action steps on things I could do to lessen or alleviate the fears. And I believe courage is defined as having fear but just doing it anyway. So that's my plan with the PCT. But I do think you can alleviate some of your fears and concerns with a little education, planning, and whatnot. So that's kind of what I've been doing since I decided I wanted to hike the trail. But my fears, I think, can be boiled down into a few categories. One would be physical, two, kind of the mental, emotional things, and then three, on-trail concerns. So let's start with the physical. Well, if you've watched my first PCT prep video, which was why I want to hike the PCT, you would know that over the last 9 years or so, I've had an off and on battle with breast cancer. And so through that, I have, really taken to taking care of myself and have kind of an overall wellness plan. And that's everything from physical activity, nutrition, reducing toxins. So when I think about hiking a Pacific Crest Trail and doing something like that, it seems like it, it's the potential to be really stressful on your body. And so I need to really keep that in check. And so I am a bit concerned about how it will affect me physically. Will it, lower my immunity by being under physical stress day after day after day? So there's that. And then there's the whole nutrition aspect. And I've basically kind of gluten-free and dairy-free and eat real clean. And when you look at all the videos about different trail food and what people are eating on the trail, it's kind of pretty gross. So I'm going to be one of those people that needs to plan a little more with their food. And so to alleviate that concern, I've been doing some research. I'm probably going to be making some kind of a shopping list for in-town resupply, so I know ahead of time what I need to look for. And I also signed up for Backcountry Foodie. Erin, I can't remember her last name, but she has a great program that teaches you all about different recipes and things in the backcountry. So I'm just doing some research. I've got a vacuum sealer and probably going to be doing a little more food prep in that area. I also take a fair amount of supplements, so I am going to have to plan for that as well. So the other concern I have about, the physical aspects is, just how's my body going to handle the situation? And so I just need to prepare as best I can physically for the hike and do my best there. But overall, I think it's just going to be listening to my body and honoring whatever it's telling me about my pace and how much I'm exerting. And, my overall health is more important to me than, completing a hike or any part of the trail. So I'm just going to go forth with that attitude and take care of myself the best I can. So the second category has to do with the mental and emotional aspects of hiking, the PCT. And I have to say the first one, the biggest concern I have is, how am I going to do being away from my husband and my son for an extended period of time? Never really done that before. And I did take a 2-week trip, solo van trip I've got a video on that too, if you haven't seen it. And it was interesting to be gone for 2 weeks on my own. It did, I missed my husband, so it'll be interesting to see how I do with that regard. I know I can stay in touch with them, and so it's one of those things that I'm unsure about, and just gonna have to see what happens on the trail. I do have some fears about camping alone, and I know on the PCT you can be alone or with people as much or as little as you want. It will be interesting to see in 2021, with not as many people on trail, there's probably more opportunities to be alone. And while I'm super comfortable hiking on my own, I do it all the time. I have not camped overnight on my own, so I think I do need to make sure and do that a few times before I head out on the trail, just to have a comfort level. And that will make me a little more comfortable as I get out there. So the third category is on-trail fears. And here's like, that's just going to be the sort of the fear of the unknown. There's fear about wildlife, bears, mountain lions, rattlesnakes. And it's interesting, it just so happens this trail I'm walking on today, a few months ago, it's like 10 a.m. I'm walking out on the trail and I come across a deer leg and some entrails. And I look at that and I'm like, that's got to be a mountain lion kill. And so I was on a loop. So I figured, I continued hiking and I thought, well, mountain lion has a deer, he's not going to be looking for me. And if I'm farther away from the kill, I'm going to be safer. So I finished my loop and found the ranger at the trailhead, and he said someone had spotted a mountain lion earlier that morning. And I don't know if they actually spotted the mountain lion or if they just saw the kill like I did and assumed there was a mountain lion. Anyways, they closed the trail for about a month. I don't know. I was a little sketch. I've only been out here once since then, and it's one of the more secluded trails near a creek. So it's if I were a mountain lion, I'd want to hang out here. So I do have a healthy respect for all of those animals that I mentioned, and I think it's important just to educate yourself, which I have done, about how to handle encounters, how to prevent encounters, and keep yourself safe. And so can't be too afraid about that. Those instances are quite rare, and so I would say it's more of a concern than a fear. I'd have to say though, I'm a little more concerned about creepy people on trail than I am the wildlife. And I think on the PCT, you don't hear about those things very often. It's quite rare, and I'm not going to do anything stupid like, hitch a ride alone or any of those things. I'm going to take all the necessary safety precautions and keep myself safe in that regard too, and just use my gut, my intuition about people. And if I'm sketching out, I'm out of there. And lastly, with regard to the on-trail fears, I do have a little fear around getting lost, like on potty breaks, walking off the trail and somehow not finding my way back. And so again, just going to employ some safety precautions when I do that. And I do have Garmin InReach, GutHook's app, maps. Kind of a map person, so I do have a map and compass, and I like a paper map. And while some of you younger folks might think that's not necessary, it's going to make me feel more comfortable. And I like having that global picture of the trail. So I think that about sums up my fears. Again, courage is being afraid and doing it anyway. So I'm more excited about just seeing how I'm going to do out there. Sometimes we're afraid of the unknown, and I think I've gotten to a point in my life where I want to sort of embrace that. And one of my goals was to overcome fears and have a little more confidence, and I think the trail's going to offer that for me. So anyways, I hope you're all having a great December. 2020 is almost coming to a close. I know I'm going to be happy to see it go. And let's hope for a better 2021. Happy holidays and Merry Christmas to y'all. Have a great day. See you on the next hike.